Hi, I'm Dave Phillips. I'm here at the Titleist Performance Institute, and today we're talking about knocking the rust off your golf swing. So it's been the off season, you're coming back out to play again, and we need to see where you're at. So at TPI, what we always do is we look at the body. So we've trained a bunch of people out there, a bunch of experts that can take you through a physical assessment screen, but we look at the body first just to see where you're at. I want to know how you're moving, whether your hips are tight, whether your thoracic spine's tight, or maybe you've been doing a workout in the off season, you're actually stronger and you're more flexible and mobile than you have been in the past. I'd like to know that because that's going to affect how you swing. The next thing is your golf swing. I would meet with a golf professional, and a lot of times players come to me and I'll take them through a quick swing check. So I'll look at their posture, their alignment, their grip, but I'll specifically have them hit a bunch of different shots and pay attention to the strike, how well they're hitting the golf ball. The next thing I'll check is the clubs themselves. Grips. A lot of times they get worn or get kind of crusty during the winter. You might want to replace those. But the next thing is a lot of new equipment out. I've got the new SM and wedge right here. I've got some new irons in my bag. I want to take them for a little test drive and see how they compare to what I had last season. I might have improved my speed. I might be getting some slightly differences in the way the ball flies. I want to know that. So we take everything for a little test. But let's wind back a second. The one thing I mentioned earlier was the strike. To me, that is what's so important with the best players in the world. And that comes down to one very little thing. It's this wrist, this trail wrist right here. You have a little bit of bend in this wrist that's set up. When my hands grip onto the golf club and I grip down, I've got a little bit of angle here. When I swing back, no matter whether it's a wedge or a full swing, I have a little more angle. In fact, you'll see a player like Justin Thomas do this little preset where he's actually checking it right here. He's not only checking the face of the club, but he's adding that angle to the wrist. What you want is you don't want to lose that angle. Now, if you keep that angle and you set that angle going back, you will always, as you come into impact, have a solid strike. You'll have a nice crisp strike of the golf ball. So the first thing I'm doing when I have students come in, have them hit a few chip shots. I'm looking at their strike. Are they striking it nice and solidly and maintaining that little bit of angle in their wrist? Or do I see a little bit of this? Are they maybe driving their legs, dumping the angle and hitting it fat? Or vice versa, maybe what they're doing is just throwing the angle immediately like this and they're catching it a little bit thin. So again, the strike is what's important when you come back that first time from a little bit of layoff. We want to get that strike back as fast as possible. The easiest way to do that, you start with your wedges. Start with your wedges, a little bit of set to that wrist, and try and just keep the body moving and hold that angle. Then slowly build up the swing. You can go to an 8-iron and start with some little half swings where you maintain that angle and try and finish turning all the way through. And then onto the longer clubs, maybe a 4-iron or a hybrid, and then into the driver as well. There's only very few shots where I really want to release that angle. That's more of specialty shots, shots like potentially in the bunker or if I'm trying to hit a high lob. But most players will always retain this angle all the way through. To do that, the body needs to be functioning. That's why we check the body. Because if my hips are tight and I'm not turning, or if my torso's tight and I'm not turning through, that can also cause me to dump that angle. So remember, when you come off from this off season and you're knocking the rust of your golf game, 3 things that I want you to do. Number 1, if you can, get physically evaluated by a TPI certified expert or get your body checked. Your golf professional can obviously take a look at that and see how you're moving. Golf professional can check your swing, make sure your grip, your alignment, and everything is good. And the next thing, make sure you look at this equipment. Make sure it's fitting you now that your body has changed. And remember, number 1, make sure the strike is good. If the strike is good, you'll knock the rust off your game and you'll be playing great before you know it.